Leute, wehrt euch gegen diesen kommenden Wahrheitsministerium, das die CDU und die SPD für uns im Petto haben. Wehrt euch. That's what we're going to talk about today, is the Ministry of Truth that the CDU wants to install in this country. Guys, it is Wednesday, already Wednesday, the 2nd of April, or maybe the 3rd of April. Now I'm not sure. Either way, it's Wednesday, 2025, 9:30 in the morning here in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today for Germany. And I made a video about it last week. We talked about the Ministry of Truth that the CDU wants to implement here in the country, which means they would have to drastically change the German Constitution, so the Grundgesetz. They would have to drastically change the meaning of the freedom of speech law, which is freie Meinungsäußerung here in Germany. The freedom of opinion is basically what that means. And they want to change that around to make basically anything that they decide is a lie or misinformation or disinformation or hate speech or whatever. They want to decide who can get criminally punished for saying what thing, right? Right now, the law is pretty clear, right? You can say almost anything, right? You can't insult people, keine Beleidigung. You can't, and again, when I say, for the people that are watching this in America or in another country where these crazy rules don't exist, right? Insult doesn't mean whatever somebody perceives as an insult, right? Okay? Like, let's put it like this. Ricarda Lang, right? I'm going to take her just because she's an example. Before I do say this, though, I want to give her big props for losing all this weight. She lost a lot of weight, and she's the only Green Party member currently that seems to have gotten the picture and is trying to change her tune and the way she speaks about certain policies. So give her props for that. But back in the day, like a year ago, 2 years ago, she was a pretty hated figure. She said pretty dumbass shit, and she was really big, right? And see, that's the thing. You can call Ricarda Lang a big woman or make the comment that she was pretty fat at the time, right? That is not a Beleidigung, even though she might take it that way. Now, if you call her directly a fat pig, that would be different, right? That's kind of the line. But essentially, you can say everything. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. This plan that the CDU has for the country to basically implement tyrannical rule over the citizens, because these people are the ones that talk about democracy all the time, but they talk about unsere Demokratie, our democracy. They talk about that all the time, right? They talk about our democracy, which means their bureaucracy. I say it all the time. Just replace the word, when they use the word democracy, replace the word with bureaucracy, right? They are not defending democracy. They are defending their bureaucracy. And they know the only way they're going to be able to do that is if the people stay stupid, right? If they're dumb, if they get all their information from the öffentlich-rechtliche Rundfunk, right? If they get all their information from mainstream media, mainstream news pundits that are basically in service to the government, either ideologically or fiscally, which means they get paid by the government, which the ORR does, right? So they are not trustworthy news sources. At the latest, we learned that during COVID, right? That's probably been happening for a long time. It just, people didn't really notice. Social media comes along, COVID comes along, and now we know that in basically every Western country, they operate propaganda on their citizens, right? And no matter whether it's fear propaganda about the virus, whatever, right? Whatever. It's all propaganda. There's very little actual news that comes from there. So most people that are, have caught on to this, they'll get their news from other sources, podcasts, online, social media, whatever. And if things seem weird, they'll investigate it a little bit. They'll do a little bit of research. But then at some point, there will come some misinformation there. You know what I'm saying? There'll be things that people post that are complete bullshit that other people believe, and they'll repost it. It's also complete bullshit. But people, we are adults, right? we do have the ability to think logically and reason through stuff. At least most of us do. Some people have turned that off completely. Some people have just taken that part out of their brain and said, fuck it, I don't need that. I'm just going to go full emotional. And that's what the politicians, the left, the Green Party, those people, these kind of people, that's how they run shit, right? Pure emotion, 100% emotion. If I don't like it, it's not legal. If I don't love it, it's not real. They ignore reality completely, right? Completely. Until someday it comes and bites them in the ass. And that's what's kind of happening to a lot of people now, right? You see it in the polls, in the Umfrage. You see it right now. The AFD is already, after like 4 weeks, right, of the CDU being voted in and being the most popular party, the AFD has already almost overtaken them, which is no grounds for fucking celebration here, people, because it's too fucking late now, right? It's too late. You should have voted for the AFD when you had the chance. Now that chance is gone until much more pain and suffering has been inflicted upon the people of this country. Own fault. Like I always say, I can't vote here. I'm not German, so I'm not allowed to vote in this election, right? But I'm very disappointed in the outcome. And I'm sure that a lot of people that voted for the CDU are now also very disappointed. Why? Because they have suddenly been hit by reality. They have lived outside of reality all this time, which is why they voted for the CDU in the first place, because they thought, oh, well, CDU, they're the conservative party. We don't need leftist shit. We need the conservative party. Let's just believe the same people that have fucked us in the ass for the last 17 years, or, well, now 16 years, then, the last 16 years. Let's believe them again. Let's not give some new people a chance. Let's believe these same morons that got us in this fucking problem in the first place, right? And they can do that because they don't live in reality. Now, reality is smacking them in the face. Pow! They're like, yo, hey. And now these people are like, shit, we made a big mistake. We should have voted for the AFD. That's right, but we told you that to begin with. Okay, I'm not going to linger on that. All right? Make the right decision next time. What you need to think about now is how to defend yourself against this incoming government. I say it all the time. These people, these elites in Berlin, right? These government apparatchiks, which is what they are the fascists, right? They keep telling everybody else they're the Nazis and the fascists and we're the Nazis and blah. They are the fascists, right? Look up fascism, what the actual definition is, and then look at what these governments have in plan for the people of the country. That's fascism, right? Not the fucking right, not the AFD. Sorry. These people are trying to destroy actual democracy and replace it with their bureaucracy permanently. And the way they're going to do that is by shutting you up. But don't let them, right? Know your rights. Know your rights. Know what you're allowed to say and not say. The only reason they're doing this is they want to intimidate the public. And up till now, intimidation and fear and threatening has worked very well for German people. They love that. German people seem to love being subjugates. You know what I'm saying? They love getting subjugated by the daddy government. They're like, oh, daddy government, give me more daddy government. They love it, right? It looks like y'all love it. I'm sorry. That's what it seems like. It looks like it to me, right? If that's not the case, prove me wrong. I don't know. Vote your way out of this when you can, right? But this has worked on the Germans for a very long time. Oh, they made the left had a genius plan. They're like, okay, we can use Hitler and the Nazis to cower these people into believing that an actual democracy doesn't need both left-wing and right-wing opinions, ideas, and policies, right? Everything to the right of the left is Nazis. And they got the public to buy that shit. Y'all bought it. Y'all were like, yep, okay, no, we can't, no. Right, everything right-wing is extreme right-wing. But the left doesn't do any violence, right? Right? No violence from the left. Yeah, look at America at the left burning down Tesla stations, beating people in their Tesla cars. Look at the 2020 riots because of St. George Floyd, the holy St. George Floyd, right? You fucking drug addict robbing fucking criminal that died because of a drug overdose, basically. And while resisting arrest. I don't know if you guys watch body cam videos on YouTube, right? But you'll see resisting arrest in America, bad idea. Okay? Just telling you. Yeah, just telling you. They don't have to call their boss before they can shoot somebody there. I know that here in Germany, they got to call for permission and fucking dick around and protocol. By the time they get to shoot somebody, they're already dead. But they don't have to do that in the States. So St. George Floyd, all bullshit, right? But the left tore up the country because of it. Now they're trying it again with Tesla because they don't like Elon Musk. And I don't see any real violence coming from the right at all. None. You know, all the stories about, oh, right, you have to watch out for the right and their extremism and their violence. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see it. Either way, doesn't matter. You guys have to protect yourselves against this incoming government. Don't let them shut you up. Don't let them shut you up, right? Make sure that you keep speaking out. Know your rights. If they try to fine you or sue you, fight them. Fight them. Because if you don't take a stand here, right? This is the fundamental thing of a democracy, right? It's freedom of speech for people to be able to say and give their opinion on what the government or anything else is doing, so that the voice of the public is heard, right? This bullshit idea about, well, now it's the internet, now you can reach a lot more people. Well, yeah, but that's okay though. That's the whole idea, right? It should be, we're adult people. We can decide for ourselves what's true and what's not, right? We don't need the government to come in and explain it to us. And that's what they want to do. That's what Friedrich Merz, the so-called conservative party, CDU and CSU, that's what they want to do. They want to intimidate the public in this country to shut the fuck up and not speak out against them. And they want to threaten you with all kinds of punishments and shit that doesn't exist. They're not going to be able to change the constitution of this country in order to suit their needs. They're going to try, though, which is another reason to never vote for them again, because they are not a democratic party. They are not for freedom and democracy and freedom of opinion and freedom of movement and protecting the citizens. No, they are in service to something else, right? They're in service to something else. And stop thinking of these people as leaders. They are servants. We pay their salary. They have to do, they work for us, right? That's the way it's supposed to be. They work for us. So remember that. Don't let them tell you what you can and cannot say, right? Don't let them tell you that shit. You can say almost whatever you want. And if you want to be sure, just read the Grundgesetz, right? Read the Grundgesetz and you'll be able to see that the freedom of opinion in this country goes pretty far. Not far enough for me, because I'm used to living in America, you know what I'm saying, where you can actually say whatever the fuck you want. And that to me is very important. But they don't do the same kind of things here. You can say actually whatever you want in America, except for inciting like violence against someone or something, and even that has to be imminent. It has to be an actual threat right now. So it goes very far. Not as far as America does the freedom of speech go here, okay? But it goes pretty far. And what the government, what the people in power are trying to do is completely against your rights, completely against the Grundgesetz. And you as a public, you as a citizenry, owe it to the rest of us that live here and want to remain free to protect yourself and us against this tyranny. If you let them get away with this, and you now shut up and don't post anything, don't say anything, oh, you're so scared of daddy government, I'm so scared, If that's gonna be if that's what happens, then forget about, you might as well fucking roll over right now. You might as well just roll over and just stop watching the news, stop getting worried about shit, and just accept your subjugation. Because that's what they are going to do. If you give them an inch, they're going to take a meter, right? They're going to take a foot. If you give them one finger, they're going to take your whole hand. That's how they are. That's how they are, and that's obvious. It's obvious to everybody. You know it. Don't give them an inch when it comes to your rights. Don't let them take any rights away from you. We made this mistake during COVID. During COVID, everybody should have said, F you. No, I'm not shutting my business. No, I'm not wearing a fucking mask outside. No, I'm not going to let my kids sit inside all day long and not get any exercise. No, 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 no. What would they have done? Send out the army to go kill us all? No, they can't. They don't have an army, right? That's the problem. They don't have shit. They couldn't do shit. There's not enough police in all of Germany to be able to stop that if everybody goes enough is enough, right? So just disobey. Just disobey. You're not a child. Fight them on this. Fight them on this. Do not let the CDU and the SPD form a ministry of truth and make you shut your mouth. That would be crazy. This is going to be your first test. This is going to be your first test in actually pushing back against the government as a society. Because they're coming after all of us. It's not just a certain group. It's not just the right anymore. You know what I mean? No. This is everybody that lives here. And again, it's everybody that lives here, all of the citizens, against these people. They are the enemy, right? They are not our friends. They are not doing things to serve our interests. They are not working in our favor, in our interest, or any of that shit. They're doing nothing of the job they got voted in there for. Nothing. So why do we have to lay down and accept them as kings? I wouldn't do that. Don't do that. It's going to be a big mistake. It'll be a big mistake if you let them get away with this. Wehrt euch dagegen. Really, people. All right, guys, if you want to get all of my content delivered directly to your inbox, all you got to do is subscribe to my Substack. You see it there on the screen. It's allaboutlogic.substack.com. You can do it for free, but you can do it for $5 a month to support me. I'd appreciate that. And then you get all of my content, including my articles, the videos, everything uncensored, unremoved, unbanned. Substack doesn't censor or ban anything, not even in Europe. Thus far, all my videos are still there. All my articles are still there. And I don't think that Europe's going to be able to do so much censoring to American platforms as they hope. So go to the Substack, subscribe there, watch there. If you're watching this on TikTok, then this is like my 100th account. I have, again, no followers yet because I just reopened a new account because I got banned from there so many times. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I don't care. I will keep putting my message out there, including on TikTok, no matter how many accounts I have to make. I don't care. They're not going to keep me quiet. And that's what I expect from everybody else. All right, guys, that's it for the Insanity Report for today. Have a great day today, and we'll see you tomorrow.